Good morning. For the next week, you're going to be exposed to stuff that for most of you, other than for those of you that did what I told you to, which I'd say maybe 2 of you did. You got an email a few weeks ago to read and to listen to, absorb a bunch of stuff. By this afternoon, I'll be able to tell who did it and who didn't. I already know most of you didn't. Now, why would you pay 20 grand for a life-changing experience, ostensibly, and not follow instructions from, forget the $50 billion man, just the fact that you paid? That's the magic question. I know you're going to be a problem. How many Muslims we got in the room? Oh my God. Praise Allah. No shit. How many, I know how many Sikhs we got. I don't have to ask. Okay. But that's the story of your life. It reminded me when I first went into the military these many years ago, 50 years last June. They used to send out a little, like a not a telegram, but a little letter that if now they would say, if you want to make the most of the experience, it'd be a bunch of bullshit like that. But in those days, they were trying to prevent injuries when you got inducted into the military. Because then, if you think they're snowflakes now, they thought they were snowflakes then, but those guys are superheroes compared to the fucking kids today. But they send you out a little letter, and then you should be able to do so many push-ups and so many sit-ups and so many this and so many that. And the kids, no, they're all fucked up, getting as drunk as they can before they show up. And so very few were able to do it. And so those kids suffered. But the materials that we sent out, just as when you get the 8 gigabytes when you leave here, I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you now, the kids that are on that wall, and the kids that I talk about the most, and kids, you're all kids, whether you're 20 or 50 to me, are the individuals that continue to absorb the material when they leave here. You're going to have 2,400 slides, 8 gigabytes of stuff, and I'm told that's a lot of gigs. And the ones that do the best have a program, an ongoing program, part of their weekly regimen, that they absorb the material and they continue to absorb the material. Because remember, what you're going to suffer from here is cognitive dissonance, meaning that you've got two different, you're in a virtual reality life that you've been leading, a bubble wrap life, as I call it, that started with your parents from the second trimester on. You're supposedly able to comprehend what's going on outside the real world till the day you got here. But most kids don't factor in what I'm saying as 100% gospel. I say a lot during the seminar, I'm telling you what the Lord knows. I'm not trying to equate myself to any deity, but I'm telling you, if you want to use this stuff to be all you can be, you need to absorb it when you leave. And just as we told you before you got here, that you should read and be conversant, I don't think we use that word conversant, with the material that we sent you. And for the kinds of questions that you're going to ask, I'll be able to determine that you didn't read anything. Okay. I'm not picking this group out. They're all the same. And they're all the same dating back to about 1999, 98. And then there was a shift when the new millennium started, 2000. And each successive year, the kids have gotten, as you would say, more snowflake. So the last 2 or 3 years, whatever is beyond snowflake, I don't know what that is, but that's where you are. Are you passing that piece of paper around and putting your age? Okay. Now, just for the Melon Heads on YouTube, we're going to start here and just say the country you're from and your age, not your name. Okay?
Chicago.
That's not a country. Obama thinks it is. Age?
Age 30. Germany, 35.
United States, 36.
Sweden, 21.
UK 23.
United States 25.
United States 30.
United States 40.
United States 30.
United States 19.
Netherlands 35.
USA 41.
United States 29.
Canada 51.
Vietnam 21. France 24.
Belgium 24.
Belgium 21. Singapore 35.
Bulgaria 19.
UK 25.
Estonia, 31.
Okay. I told you last night at dinner, the demographics, we only have 2 teenagers, this group. We have 5 or 6, 25 or less. 10 years ago, the demographics were from 30 to 45 people that came here. Now demographics are 15 to 35. 15. And the 15-year-olds would think the 19-year-olds are old. So just for you that are in your late 30s or around 40, just imagine, what the 19-year-olds, the kids think that you're, long in the tooth, as they used to say when I was a kid. But you're not long in the tooth for this stuff. You're not long in the tooth for this stuff. Now, for those of you that can't see that, that's a rainbow right there. And 3 seminars ago, one of you saw it and took the picture of it. And for some of you, this is the pot at the end of the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. For some of you, it will be. For all of you, we will invoke change. We have a 100% track record for making change. Some it's only 2% change. Some it's 95% change. But we have 100%. We've got lawyers that came here that tripled their practice, billable hours, within the first 12 months of the mentor program. That's not what they came here for. They thought they wanted to do something else. And we only have 1 lawyer, right? Yeah, 1 lawyer. They thought they were tired of the practice of law. But really what they found out, they weren't doing it right. So he was a Dutch lawyer. He fell in love with law again, which is a little hard for me to contemplate myself or resonate with me. And we've got guys that have construction companies that decide not to do roll-ups. We've got all kinds of different people, but they've increased their efficiency and their effectiveness. So it is even the Queen, who we have something in common. I've met her a couple of times. We have something in common. The same person that did my hip did her hip. The same person that did my knees did hers and the Queen Mother's knees. So that's as close as I come to sharing the same bloodline. But I've had the privilege of meeting her a couple of times. She's quite a lady. Now, some of you have been told, or told me already yesterday, you came here for a fucking beatdown. Well, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. You're going to get a fucking beatdown. But 2 of my people that influenced me, which are on my wall of influencers, Stalin and Lenin, kind of look right up there. The picture kind of looks right. But they were high-performance people. And the thing you've got to get out of your mind is high performance doesn't mean good. High performance doesn't mean that you did well for humanity. High performance is being all you fucking can be, taking advantage of all your assets. Man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. Unfulfilled. And as much as I've accomplished, as much as Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Bill Gates and the late Steve Jobs have accomplished, they only scratched the surface of what they could have accomplished. If anything in my seminar offends you, blame your fucking parents for raising a pussy. I told you last night at dinner, love doesn't get the job done. If love got the job done, you wouldn't be here. None of us would be here. We wouldn't be getting ready to bomb North Korea, potentially. We wouldn't have just dropped the bomb, a mother of all, whatever the fuck we dropped in Afghanistan. Love doesn't get the job done. And when you were told as a youth, you can be anything you want to be, they lied to you. You cannot be anything you want to be. They should have said, you can be anything you want to be if you go to the right school, you work 140 hours a week, you don't hang around with fucking morons, etc., etc., etc. If love got the job done, We would have produce high performers. It doesn't. That's Jason Capital, one of my mentees who I spoke for in Beverly Hills a few weeks ago, who's been through the seminar. The number one reason people fail in life is because they listen to their friends and family. One of the most successful guys that ever came through the seminar back in the 90s, he said, and he had gone to prison. He'd served, he did his time. How do I get rid of all these people? And in those days, you had cell phones that looked like bricks. And I said, well, change the number, and when they call your number, say something to the effect, if you don't have my number, fuck you, you're out of my life. Now, normally, people don't take me literally. Well, that's exactly what this kid did. And it wasn't bad until his mother got the message, because his mother was one of his biggest problems. His mother was one of his biggest problems. We've had people at this seminar that talk to their mom, and we wouldn't be here without our moms. So I'm all for loving moms 10, 15 times a day. And she wasn't dying, nothing wrong with her. But she had trained her children. It gave her something to do all day. She had 5 kids calling you 10 times a day, fills up the fucking day. In the old days, we didn't allow you to have phones. We cut you off from all, no TV, no nothing. We unplugged the phones in the castle, etc. Again, if I hear your phone, that's bad. I can already tell you won't be going to the gym anyway, but that's bad. So many pussies. This is what the Russian minister, when he was talking to CNN about the election, he said, so many pussies on both sides. Russian foreign minister, his take on the U.S. election. There was. Now, I don't agree with everything President Trump says. I happen to know him. But the one thing in what the world was screaming out for, especially the United States, is they want to change. They wanted something different. And you're seeing it around the world in different elections. The world is fucking fed up with the bullshit. And I say, with all my heart, that political correctness is a manifestation of lack of self-esteem. I'm nice to you because I want you to like me. If you die tonight in the bed, I don't give a fuck. If you want to commit suicide here, metaphorically, I don't want to get a bunch of losses. Go drown yourself in the lock. Don't cut your wrists in the fucking room and fuck up all the antique furniture. I don't care. The truth of the matter is nobody cares. In the cosmos of time, you're not a fart in the wind. Bill Gates is not a fart in the wind. Zuckerberg is not a fart in the wind. So if they're not farts in the wind, meaning in the cosmos of the big picture, the 13.8 billion years, if they're nothing, what the fuck are you? Tears were in my eyes as I read this from a mentee weekly report. I almost can't believe a guy like me who originally grew up in a rundown shack from the Philippines province with no formal education, business education, absolutely no corporate background, sees so much opportunity and will be achieving something of spectacular. He's doing roll-ups in Australia. He's put together a world-class board. And he didn't come directly. It's a better story if he came directly from the grass shack. But he didn't. He had a couple of stops. Stopped in Canada. I think it was Vancouver. And then and then of course we're going to talk about Josh, my 17, who's now 19-year-old phenom. And if a 17-year-old, 19-year-old, a teenager can do this, anybody in this room can. Okay, see you, YouTube.